Tell me your name and location in the comments section. Instagram, we are live now as well. So we got both lives going. We got Facebook here on my left. We got Instagram here to my right. And we are ready to get started. Hopefully the internet still works despite the fact that it's rainy out here. And wherever you are, maybe it ain't raining where you're at. I talked to some friends today. It wasn't raining where they were at. So hopefully it's dry where you're at. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Today is Memorial Day itself. So shout out to all the veterans out there and everybody who's lost anybody representing the country or representing any country. So we are going to get into this live. Y'all know what I do here every single day. If you don't know, you're about to find out. I do these live streams every day at this time. All you got to do is follow my story, and if the time changes, then I'll let you know. But we are live right now. We are live right here. My name is Dre Baldwin. I'm going to introduce myself in a moment, then we're going to get right into the material. I ain't even going to wait too much time for people to come in, because whoever comes in later, they just get it when they get it. Because I know what I like to say, to be early is to be on time is to be late, and to be late, we don't even know who you are, because to be late means to be forgotten. So I'm going to introduce myself. We're going to get right into this material. Any questions or concerns over anything that I talk about here today, I'll always address the questions at the end of the live stream. So if you tell me your name and location in the comment section, I'm in my introduction, I'll shout you out. I'll definitely shout the first person who does it. But then after that, I take all questions, concerns at the end. Matt from New Mexico, he got the first one. So today's topic, actually, I'm introduce myself first. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. I'm checking in from beautiful South Florida. It is super rainy here today. It's been raining. It rained all last night. And it's been raining for like 24 hours straight here. It usually doesn't rain like that here, but it's been crazy. But anyway, we'll be all right. As I said, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. 9-year professional athlete, former 9-year professional athlete, author now of 26 of these written publications that y'all call books. I've done 4 TED Talks. I'm a coach, consultant, keynote speaker, trainer, producer, content publisher, business owner. I do a whole lot of things. Harris from CT checking in. I see you. And I've created, as I told you, I've created over 15,000 pieces of content in addition to the books, in addition to doing 4 TED Talks. All that content, 7,000 of those pieces are on YouTube. 7,000 of them are written format on my blog at dreallday.com or articles at dreallday.com. Another 1,500 are podcast episodes. Those are audio productions. You can find those on your favorite podcast platforms. Just look my name up, Dre Baldwin. I got my own show with over 1,500 episodes, and I've been on a whole bunch of other people's shows and killed it every single time. And I got some more material coming soon that I'll tell you about in due time. All of that I've done is all under this umbrella, the name of my company, the name of my brand, my business, this whole philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. E checking in from Portland was good, Portland, Maine. Under this whole philosophy called Work on Your Game. It's all about taking the mindset necessary to succeed as a professional in the sports world, which means you got to be in the top 1% of what you do to become a professional athlete, because everybody can't get in. And taking that same mentality and applying that mentality to your business, applying that mentality to your job, applying that mentality to your life. That's what my whole philosophy is about. One of my 26 publications, one of my 26 books is called Work on Your Game, right? I explain that entire philosophy, Work on Your Game, where it came from, how I came about it, and how you can apply it in your life. I tell you how I applied it in my life, and I tell you how you can apply it in your life. Now, let me tell you who Work on Your Game is for. It's for 3 specific types of people. Number 1, person who believes that you need more game. You just don't have enough game. You might be a typist and you only type 30 words a minute and you want to type 60 words a minute. Or you're an athlete and you can make 20% of your threes, but you need to make 40% of your threes. If you feel like you need to step up your skill level at what you do, then this is the place for you. Work on Your Game is teaching people how to step their skill up. Second type of person that Work on Your Game is for, so the person who believes you have skill, but for whatever reason you are not showing your skill. In other words, you believe you got game, but your performance is not reflecting the level of game that you have. You need to step your performance up. Work on Your Game is for people who want to step up their performance. The third type of person that Work on Your Game is for is a person who feels like you have game. You feel like you are performing, but for whatever reason, you are not being recognized for your performance. In other words, you have a marketing problem. You're not being seen by the right people at the right times for the goals that you specifically have. So in other words, you have a recognition problem. You're just not getting seen. You're not getting promoted. You're not getting marketed. You're just not landing. Your message is not landing on the ears of the right type of people. You might be being seen by people that doesn't even matter if they see you, but you are not being seen by the people that it matters most to. So you have we'll call it a recognition problem. You're not getting seen for your skills. You're not getting seen, heard, and known. So you call that promotion, marketing, attention, whatever you want to call it. So 3 types of people. Number 1, you need game. Number 2, you need performance. And number 3, you want attention / recognition. If you're one of those 3 types of people, you need to keep listening because that's who working your game is for. Today's topic, what we're talking about, are the things that they don't teach you in school, but these are things that you need to know. Okay, so there's a lot of things they don't teach you in school, but there's a lot of things that they don't teach you in school that if you never know them, you'll be fine. All right, but the things I'm going to tell you about here today, these are things they don't teach you in school, and you need to know them, because if you don't know them, it will hurt you not knowing it. A lack of information can hurt you in many areas of life, not in every area, because there's no way any human being can ever have all the information. Our brains don't have the capacity to take in all the information, or at least to retain all of it, but there's certain information that you do need to know, and you do need to know how to apply it at all times. I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things that they don't teach you in school that you need to know in your life. So I need to go through each one of these. When I'm done, I'm going to recap all 7 of them. Then I'm going to tell you about these 2 publications I got sitting in front of me, because you can get both of these for free right now. I'll tell you about that later. Then I'll answer any questions that anybody has, and I'm going to tell you about the books again. So that's how it's going to go today. Let's get right into it. What they do not teach you in school, but things that you should know. Now, everybody here has been to some level of school, right? Everybody here went to like kindergarten or elementary school, maybe some of you middle school, maybe many of you high school, maybe some of you college. All right, everybody here has been to some level of school. Now in school, we all get it, what they call standardized education. What's a standardized education? Basically, it means that everyone is getting the exact same information. That's a standardized education. This is the challenge with school. All right, first of all, let me back up. Before I give you the challenge with school, let me tell you the good things about school. Good thing about school is it basically is a free, if you go to public school, it's basically a free daycare for parents. All right, they can send you there all day. You go there for 8 hours and they can go to work. All right, so they ain't got to worry about you being in the house tearing up the house. You can go to school and you can tear up the school. But it's basically a free daycare for your parents to send you for 18 years for you to be away and under somebody else's supervision, and they ain't got to pay for it if, that is, you go to public school. But on a serious note, what school does teaches you some basics, right? You learn how to read, you learn how to write, you learn how to do arithmetic, you learn how to follow directions, you learn how to, hopefully if you graduate, if you succeed and pass through school, then you learn how to follow assignments, you learn how to respect other people's authority, you learn how to work with other people, you socialize with other people who are your age. All of these are positives that you get from school. If you happen to be in any extracurricular activities, you get to do that. If you play sports, or you're on the chess team, or you're on the computer club, or you're in the mathletes, or you're the, I don't know what else you do, cheerleader, whatever else you could do in school. Any extracurricular activities is a good place to find out what things you may want to explore and get into in life. It doesn't give you all your options, but it gives you a good amount. It gives you some, lets you know something is going on. Now, of course, there are some drawbacks. You might have some terrible teachers. You might have some bullies in school. You might have some kids that you just don't like dealing with. There are some things that you got to deal with, but that's just life. So actually, it prepares you for life in that way. But let me tell you some of the weaknesses of school. The biggest weakness that school has, in my opinion, especially in the United States. I'm not talking about outside of the USA. I'm from the United States, so if whoever's listening, if you're not from the USA, I'm not talking about school where you're at. I can only speak on my experience. The American educational system's main limitation is that it offers a standardized education. All right, that's its main strength, and it's also its main weakness. It's a strength because they can put everybody into it, and everybody gets the same classes, the same information, the same stuff, and they can just put everybody through like a conveyor belt. The problem is every human being is unique. Not all of us are the same. Some of us want to be basketball players. Some people want to be podcasters. Some people want to be YouTubers. Some people want to be school teachers. Somebody wants to be a plumber. Somebody wants to be an architect. Somebody wants to sell cars. Somebody wants to invent some new software that doesn't even exist no more. Somebody else wants to be an interior designer. So how are all of these people who have all of these different ideas of what they want to do with their lives, how are we all getting the exact same information? It doesn't make any sense. That's the challenge of the American educational system, and also the challenge, since we're all getting this standardized education, only a few are going to come through there and look like superstars. And the reason why we're going to look like the reason why a few people look like superstars coming through the American educational system, because only a few people want to learn through this standardized system. Jose, what's good, my man? Over there on Facebook. And only a few people who come through the standardized system actually learn that way. Not everybody likes to learn that way. Is there anybody who's listening to this or watching this right now who, when you were in school, you were okay? Maybe you weren't terrible, like you didn't fail grades, but you also weren't a superstar because maybe you just weren't interested in the way they were teaching. Maybe you weren't interested in the information. Maybe you weren't interested in sitting in a room and shutting up for 8 hours a day while somebody talked at the front of the room while you had to read out of a dusty textbook. Maybe that just what didn't work for you. And that's all right. And back in the day, if that didn't work for you, people thought you were stupid, right? You got held back. You got punished. Your parents were looking at you like you were crazy. You might have got yelled at by somebody because you didn't do good in a standardized system that was supposed to be one size fits all. But we know now in 2020 that system doesn't quite make sense. So even though you have to go through that system nowadays, a good thing for any of you who's in school now or has recently got out of school, you realize, so a lot of people are saying this, you realize that even though you don't fit into the one size fits all system, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. All right. But back in the day, again, when I was coming up in school, and anybody who's older than me, if you weren't doing well in the standardized school system, people looked at you like you were crazy or you were dumb. You might have got put in a what do they call it? Special needs class, and there was nothing wrong with you. It was just that way of teaching just didn't work for you. But in the world that we have these days, now at least you can see other options. You got people like myself and millions of others who are on the internet putting out, I guess you could call this educational material that doesn't cost you anything. All you got to do is pay attention and log on and subscribe or whatever you got to follow, whatever it is you got to do. And you can get plenty of information from a bunch of other people. While back in the day, the only information you could get was from your teachers, your parents, and maybe whatever came on TV and if you had a library card. So I appreciate the people who are participating in the comment section down there. But what they do not teach you in school, in addition to all the stuff that I just talked about when it comes to the system itself, is that there are still some pieces of information, some things that you need to learn about for life that is not taught in school, that if you don't learn about these things, hopefully, maybe some of you who are lucky enough, maybe you have parents or maybe an older adult who you respect, maybe a religious leader or a coach or a mentor, maybe an aunt or uncle, brother or sister who teaches you these things. But if you don't have someone teaching you these things, the great thing again is that we got the internet nowadays and you can get this information from other people, but you must be seeking this information to find it. This information is not going to run up on you and smack you in the face. You have to go and look for it. But I'm going to provide some of it for you here today. Let me let you know that everything I'm going to tell you here today is not everything you need to learn to be successful in life, because I don't know you personally. I don't know what your goals are, where you're trying to go. There are specific knowledge you can get based on your specific area of expertise or area of interest that can become expertise. But the things I'm going to tell you here will generally apply to anyone if you learn to apply them the right way. And I'm going to tell you what they are, how they apply, why they matter. Let's get right into it. Point number one, the topic once again, for those who came in the middle of this, is what they do not teach you in school, but it's something that you need to know. Number one, knowing facts from books is not as important as your teachers make it seem. Facts that come out of books, and I'm not talking about the kind of books that I write, but I'm talking about the kind of books that you get when you go to school or you go to college and you buy the textbooks and then they buy them back from you for like 10% of what you paid for it. That kind of information that comes out of a textbook is factual information. It is data, but the problem is it is not as important as school makes it seem, because in school, whether you pass or fail is based on what? How much of the information out of those textbooks you can retain for long enough to pass the test. And if you don't pass the test, you fail the grade, and then you got to take the grade over, and then you're going to be 18 in a sophomore year class, and then people are going to be looking at you like you're dumb, right? Socially. So that's why it is quote unquote important in school to do well retaining information. But in real life, the difference between what happens in school and what happens in life is that school is a closed book test. You can't look in the textbook during the test at school. In life, everything's an open book test. All of life is what we call an open book test. Any of you in school, I don't know, maybe your teachers every once in a while might have given you an open book test and everybody was happy, right? Because an open book test basically means kids would think, well, I don't have to study. I ain't even got to get ready for this test because all the answers are in the book. That's not necessarily true. Because here's the thing about an open book test. Because even though you can open your book and look at any information you want, you still got to know which book to look in. You got to know which page to turn to. You got to know which information you're looking for. And then you got to know how to interpret and implement that information. So just because the book is open does not guarantee that you're going to have the right answer. So with life itself being an open book test, first of all, with all of the books that are out there, and I'm using books as a metaphor, so books could be Google, or Google could be your open book. So if I told you, all right, you could use Google to get answers to any question that I give you, the limitation is you only got 45 minutes to get all these answers to 100 questions. All right, you can't take 20 minutes to answer one question. You're going to run out of time. So just because you have access to all the information via your phone and Google doesn't mean you're going to get all the right answers. You still got to know where to look. You got to know what you're looking for. You got to know when you find the right thing. You got to know that it's the right thing. Then you got to be able to interpret it. Then you got to know what to do with it. So just because it's open does not mean you are guaranteed success. All of life is an open book test, but you got to figure out which book. All right, have I said that enough? Point number two. Today's topic, we are talking what they do not teach you in school that you need to know. So the first thing is knowing facts from books is not as important as it used to be. Understanding those facts does matter, at least the basic stuff like reading and writing and 2 + 2 = 4. But when it comes to more nuanced things, you got to know where to look and how to use it. Point number 2, knowing the right people is more important than knowing the right things. I'm pausing here just to let that sink in for you. Knowing the right people is more important than knowing the right things. As some people use the saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Now, I want to clarify that. What you know does matter. Because what you know, when you prove that you know things and you're good at something and you know which book to look in to get the right information, guess what? The right type of people are going to want to be around you. They're going to want to spend time with you because they're like, damn, this person has the right information. We want you on our team. We want you to come work for our company. I want you to do a business deal with me because it looks like you got the right information. So what you know does matter. All right. Do not let anybody tell you that having information doesn't matter or having book knowledge is not important. Having book knowledge is important. Okay. And listen, I've written 26 books. So I'm going to tell you that having book knowledge is important. Depends on which books, but having that knowledge does matter. And if you apply it the right way, it matters a whole lot. But knowing the right people is more valuable than knowing the right things. Not that knowing the right things is not valuable at all, but here's the thing. When you know the right people, they can know the things that you don't know, and they can do your thinking for you. I'll give you an example. Henry Ford, who's the guy who started the Ford Motor Company, basically brought the American automobile concept, brought the automobile concept to the United States. He did not invent the automobile. The automobile was actually invented by a guy by the name of Carl Benz, who started the Mercedes-Benz company. He invented the automobile, but then the concept in America, and Benz is from, I believe, I don't even know where he's from, maybe Germany? I don't even know, but he's not from the United States. Henry Ford brought it to the United States, and these people thought they were envious of Henry Ford. They're like, this guy's not even that smart. He started the car company, he has all this money, but he's not even that smart. So they were trying to prove that he was dumb, and these people kind of put him on trial, and they were asking him all these questions. And Henry Ford, while he's struggling to answer the questions, at some point he said, why do I need to answer all these dumb questions that you're asking me and these random information questions when, look, I could push a button. I could go to my office right now, push a button on my desk, and any question that I could ever ask, there's somebody who works for me who will come and give me the answer to that question. Why do I need to know the answer if I got all these people working for me who have all the answers? And the point that Henry Ford was making is the same point that I'm giving you here. Just because you don't have the answer yourself does not mean you need to go out and get it. You don't need to be an expert in every topic in the world. What you can do is surround yourself with people who do have access to those answers or do have those answers yourself. So if you start a company, for example, let's say you started a company, you make the next smartphone company. You're trying to put Apple out of business, right? So that's what you're doing for a living. You got a smartphone. Now, do you know accounting? Probably not, but you can hire an accountant. Do you know the law? Probably not, but you can hire a lawyer. Do you know fitness? Because you want to stay in shape while you're running your company. Probably not, but you can hire yourself a personal trainer. Do you know nutrition? Maybe not, but you can hire a nutritionist. You can hire somebody to make your meals for you. Do you know how to, I don't know, do you know how to burp a baby and change a diaper? Maybe not, but you might have a husband or wife who knows how to do it, and they can do that for you. So you don't need to know how to do everything. All you have to do is surround yourself with the right people who have the right information. Now, you also need to be one of those right people who has the right information, but you don't need to know everything about everybody or everything about everything. You just need to know the right things about the right things so that you can be just as valuable to other people as they are to you. So I could know something about, let's say I know basketball and you know soccer and this person knows baseball and they know hockey. Look, we could start a competitor to ESPN. All right, so I'm going to talk basketball. You're going to do baseball. He do soccer. He do hockey. All right, we're going to write about all this stuff. Then we'll go find people to help us out. So I don't need to know soccer and hockey and baseball. I just know mine, and I'm as valuable to them as they are to me. And we have the synergy of all of us working together. So that's what I mean when I say you don't need to know all the right things. You just need to know the right people. But you need to know something so you can be valuable to some of the right people. Point number 3. Today's topic is what they do not teach you in school, but these are things that you do know. School does not know what the world is going to be like 5 to 10 years from now, probably even 4 to 5 years from now. When I was in college, I graduated college at a great time. It was a great time for me because I went to college from the year 2000 to 2004. I graduated from Penn State University 2004 with a degree in business. Here's the thing. When I was in high school, my junior year of high school is around the point that I decided that I was not going to listen in school anymore. Now, I'm not telling you this to impress you, but to impress upon you. I'm not telling you this that you should do this. I'm just telling you my story, what I did. I stopped listening in school around my junior year of high school because I realized, number one, that I knew what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to play basketball and maybe do something on this internet, this computer, because I had a computer in my parents' house probably around like age 12, and I really took to the computer. Nobody knew what it was going to become, but I liked being on the computer, but I knew I wanted to play basketball by the time I was 16. So for the last 2 years of high school, then all 4 years of college, I did enough work to get by, and that's how I ended up getting a degree. I did not seriously apply myself at school. I did not spend a whole lot of time studying except for maybe 1 or 2 semesters in college because I didn't know anybody on campus. So all I did was study because I didn't have any friends like that. But once I made friends, I stopped studying and I started doing college stuff. But the whole point is this. First of all, I understood that I need to be a hustler. I need to play the game because I was in college, and the one main reason I wanted to go to college is so I could spend that time, play on the basketball team, and work on my game and get better. I knew I wasn't good enough to be, Kobe or LeBron and go from high school to the NBA. I needed that 4 years to work on my game, right? That was number one. And in order to play college sports in America, you got to go to class and you had to be eligible. So I knew I had to go to enough class to get a good enough grade to keep playing. That was number one. And number two, I also understood that I wanted to meet other people and socialize in college and get some information and grow and mature as a person. And here's the thing, the reason why I said it was a perfect time for me, because by the time I graduated school in 2004, college in 2004, the internet was starting to bubble up. It was starting to become a little bit more of what it was going to become. But even in 2004, we didn't know it was going to become this. We didn't have Instagram. There was no streaming. YouTube didn't exist yet. We weren't using the term personal brand. We were not using the term social media. It was very rare that a person had their own website. This is just 2004. This is not that long ago. We didn't have any of this stuff. So none of my teachers or my professors in school could teach me anything about the internet because they didn't know the internet was going to become the internet. So I wasn't really paying them any mind because I knew I wanted to play ball and then I was going to do something on the internet. That's what I knew. I didn't know what I was going to do on the internet. Again, blogging, YouTubing. Blogging was kind of around because I started blogging in 2005. YouTubing, no. Social media, no. Live streaming, no. Self-publishing, no. None of this stuff even existed. And this is basically what I do these days. But I didn't know that was coming. The whole point is this. Your professors in school have no idea what the next 5 years are going to look like. All they could talk to you about is what it looks like right now. Unless you happen to have a professor who's a futurist and their whole business is studying what's going to happen in the future, maybe you're that lucky. And when I was in school, I wasn't that lucky. Therefore, you need to take sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you may need to take what your professors are telling you with a grain of salt because they don't know maybe as much as even you know. And you also need to remember that many of your professors, again, I can't speak for all of them because every professor is different, every school is different, every setup is different. Many of your professors are full-time professors. They're not full-time. I was in a business major. I have a business degree from Penn State. My professors were not business owners. They were not entrepreneurs. They were professors. That's what they did for a living. For 40, 50 hours a week, they taught classes. They didn't run businesses. They didn't start companies. They didn't come up with new ideas. They didn't write books. They weren't doing the things that I wanted to do. So when they were trying to tell me about business, I'm like, how does this guy know anything about business when all he does is for 50 hours a week, he teaches classes? That didn't make sense to me. I didn't call him out on it, but that didn't make sense to me. I didn't have the verbiage to kind of say it that way back then, but I had the seeds of the idea. I'm telling you that to tell you this, not so you go to school and disrespect your teachers. You respect the game because this is the game that you win if you're going to be in school in the United States. But understand that your professors may not know as much about the future as they may appear to know, or they want to present themselves as knowing, and maybe they're mature enough to tell you that they don't know. But my professors they weren't like that. So I can't speak for yours, but understand that they don't know what they don't know. All right, some of the things that you're being taught in school this year will be obsolete next year. I'm just telling you that so that if you learn something that ends up being useless, don't be mad because I'm already telling you. But you still got to play the game. You want to get a degree, you got to play the game. All right, playing the game means go to class, pass the class, and move on to the next one. Don't complain about it, just play the game. You don't want to be in the game, check out of the game. Point number 4. Today's topic is what they do not teach you in school, but you need to know. In the United States educational system, again, I can only speak on the USA system. System is based on money. It is not based on making you your best. That's why the system is broken and that's why it persists. The United States educational system is not based on educating you. Now, listen, let me be clear. Any professors or teachers who are listening to this, I'm not talking about you personally. I'm talking about the system. The system is based on money. This is why the cost of college tuition is rising faster than the rate of inflation. And those of you who don't know what that means the value of the dollar is not going up as fast as the cost of a college education, which means it's costing more and more money every year, but we don't have more and more money, so it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They called this, in the early 2000s, they called this the dot-com bubble, and guess what? That bubble burst. In the late 2000s, they called this the real estate/financial bubble, and guess what? That bubble burst. Right now, we got an education bubble, and guess what's going to happen? It's going to burst, and it's going to hurt for some people. We don't know when, we don't know who, but it's going to burst. I'm telling you all that not to tell you to drop out of college, but I'm telling you this. College education is really based on people getting paid. All right, that's why the system perpetuates the way that it does. It is not based on giving you your best possible education, which means this. Doesn't mean you should go to school and just disrespect everybody. What it means is you need to take control and ownership of your own education. Do not expect and do not blame your professors and your teachers for not giving you the information that you need. It is your responsibility to get that information. If you want to be a professional photographer, don't become a photography major or a multimedia major and then graduate and then say, well, they didn't teach me anything, so I have no idea what to do. That's not their fault. That's your fault. It's your fault for not getting the right information. It's a library on your campus, right? So if your professors are not giving you the right information, why weren't you in the library getting that information in the library? You know what an internship is, right? So if your professors aren't teaching you how to start a career, why aren't you going doing an internship with somebody who already is in the game as a photographer and learning the game? All right, you know how to use a camera, right? That's why you want to be a photographer. Why aren't you on campus taking pictures, telling people you'll give them free Instagram photo shoots for 5 hours just so you can work on your photography game? Why are you not doing that? These are all things that you need to be doing to take control of your own destiny. Do not depend on your teachers or your professors or your student advisor or the government or your parents or whoever else to give you the information or the education that you need to get where you want to go in life. You need to take control of your destiny. Figure out where you want to go, what you want to do. If you don't know, then you need to start doing things so you can figure out where you want to go and what you want to do. Get that information while you're there. One great thing about a college campus is a great place to socialize. It's a great place to meet people. It's a great place to interact with other people who may be like-minded, who are looking to do the same thing that you're doing. It's a great place to meet other people who are going somewhere, doing something. And one good thing about being on a college campus when you're a student is that the people who work there, they want to help you. They might not be able to help you. They may not be equipped to help you. They may not have the information to help you. Again, none of my professors could have told me how to start a professional basketball career playing overseas. They didn't know a damn thing about playing professional basketball. None of them could have told me how to start a YouTube channel because there was no such thing as YouTube when I was in college. But any question that I did have that they could answer, they would have done their best to help me out. So take advantage of the fact that all those people on that campus, they want to help you do well. They want you to become a success story because if you become successful, now they can use your name and say, hey, Joe Schmo came to this campus and look at him now. Look what he did. Look at all the accomplishments that he has. And let me tell you why. I just told you that the system is based on money, right? Because when they find out that you're successful and they feel like and they think you're making some money, they're going to be hitting you up for a donation. Trust me. Because when the people from my college found out that I was a professional basketball player, I could tell by the way she was talking to me. I was talking to the, what they call it, the dean of students. This was about, how long ago was this? This is about 5 years ago. They was down in Miami, and I was sitting there with 3 people from the staff. I'm not going to say their names. But when she found out I was a professional basketball player, I could tell by how she was talking to me that she was kind of sizing me up and try to ask me to donate some money to the campus. Now, they went and did something dumb that involved me, so I never donated nothing to them. But I could tell what she was looking for. That's why I'm telling you the whole thing is based on money. This whole thing, it all goes in a circular motion. But just pay attention and stay woke. Point number 5. Today's topic is what they do not teach you in college, but you need to know and you need to take responsibility of for yourself. Point number 5, taking care of yourself. Making sure you're taking care of your body and taking care of your mind, taking care of your soul and your spirit, if you want to call it that. Taking care of yourself in terms of getting the proper rest, executing the proper hygiene, the right nutrition, the right mindset. All of these things, you may have teachers who teach this. You may have been taught this at home before. Maybe you have some friends or family who have taught you this stuff, but don't expect school to teach it to you explicitly. Maybe there's a book on it. Maybe one of your professors will bring it up, but if you're not going and looking for it, then you're not going to know what to do with it. That's why I talk about the mental game so often, because a lot of people don't really understand it. They don't know how to apply it, but the experiences that I had playing sports and being able to articulate and explain how the same parallels in sports work in the business world and they work in the life world, I'm able to explain this to other people way better than most of your college professors will be able to. But nobody's going to tell you these things. You got to take responsibility for going and getting this information. Go find somebody who seems like they got their stuff together and know what they're doing, and ask them questions about where they seem to be doing well, and soak up that game, soak up that information. You understand what I'm saying? Point number 6. Today's topic are what are things that they don't teach you in school, but you need to take responsibility for yourself. You got 2 more left. Number 6, how to express yourself and be yourself. This is an important one because school is designed, as I just said, the American educational system, especially up through K through 12, up through 12th grade, it is designed to box you in. It's a standardized system. That's why when they had a test, they call it the standardized test. What does a standardized test mean? It means we're giving everybody the same test and we're grading everybody on the exact same scale, which makes no sense because all of us is a unique individual, but we're all being graded the same way and being asked the same questions. Stuff that I care about, not the same as the stuff that you care about. The stuff that you know about is not the same as the stuff that I know about. Where you would excel could be all the way over here, and where I excel is all the way over there. So why are we both taking the test that's all the way over here? Makes no sense. But this is the way that the game is set up. So school is designed to box you in and make you fit into a box of exactly what they want you to be. Even in school, when you got a major in college, they make you choose a major. All right, what do you want to major in? Listen, I wanted to be on the internet and I wanted to play professional basketball. There was no major for either one when I was in college, so I had to pick one. So I picked the business major because I knew I wanted to be in business. Guess how much of what I learned in business? I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years. Guess how much of what I learned in business I use in my business to this very day? Nothing. Zero. Nothing that I learned in college do I apply to my business to this day. Zero. Nothing. Why? Because the system that they were teaching was not based on starting your own business and doing the things that I'm doing, especially in the online space, which is 99% of my business, not even 99, I would say 90% of my business is the online space. And most of how people find me, 100%, is through the internet. But they couldn't teach that because they didn't know anything about it. The standardized system was not ready for that. Nowadays, if I was to go to college right now, I'm sure they talk about the internet because now everybody sees what it is. But back then, they didn't see it. And this is why I'm telling you, what they're teaching you now is many of the things they're teaching you are going to be obsolete 5 to 10 years from now. So even now, we may think we know everything. Like, wow, we got all this information. 5 to 10 years from now, things are going to be completely different. And what you think is the thing to do now won't even exist 5 to 10 years from now. So don't get comfortable. Point number 7. This is the last one. Today's topic are the things that they do not teach you in school, but you need to be responsible for knowing. Number 7, life is long. You thought I was going to say life is short, didn't you? Life is long. All right. Yeah, a year can be a very long time depending on what you're doing during that year. If you're the guy or the girl now where you are, maybe in college, maybe in high school, maybe after college or high school, you may not be that guy or that girl later. All right. And if you're not that guy or that girl right now, you may become the guy or that girl later. In other words, don't get comfortable. Wherever you are right now, if everything's working for you, don't get comfortable because things are going to change. Doesn't mean you're going to get worse. It means things are going to change and you need to adjust. If things are not working for you right now, don't get down on yourself and put your head down and give up because things are going to change and things may start working in your favor even though you didn't change that much because the situation changed. The ground shifted under your feet. The one thing that we are guaranteed in life is change. All right, they used to say the only things that are guaranteed are death and taxes. Oh, death is still guaranteed. All right, so 2 things, death and change. Now, they used to say death and taxes, but even this year they pushed taxes back like 3 months because of COVID-19. So I guess it's still guaranteed, but they pushed it back. So we'll say death and change are the only 2 things that are guaranteed in life, right? Which means whatever your situation is right now, it will not be like this next year. Whatever your situation is this week, it may still be like this next week. But next year, it ain't going to be the same. Whatever you got going on in 2020, that's not going to be what's happening in 2030. Things will change. So no matter how good or bad you are doing, no matter how stable or unstable your situation is right now, don't get comfortable there because things will change and you will need to adjust or you will get left behind by change. All right, you don't want to be in 2027 still living in 2017. All right, you don't want to be in 2030 still living in 2020. All right, don't be the last person to find out that the calendar has moved and you're still standing back there in yesterday. All right, times will change, things will change, which means you need to change with them. Ideally, you'll change before they change. You can start to see things before they happen. And if you know the right people, even if you're not great at predicting the future, there's some people out there who are. Your job is not to get as good as them. Your job is to make friends with them. So when they get the information, they give it to you. All right, you ain't got to know everything. Just know the people who know everything. Let's recap today's topic, which is what they do not teach you in school, but you need to be responsible for learning. Point number 1. Knowing facts from books is not as important as your school may make it think because school is all based on you retaining certain facts from a book. If you don't know the facts from a book, you fail in school. You get left behind. People think you're stupid. You get laughed at. But in life, if you don't know facts from a book, it doesn't matter because Google gives you all the facts from all the books. Or you can go hire somebody who knows all the facts from the books. The challenge with the facts from the book in life, even though life is an open book test, you got to know which book to look in, where to turn in that book, because a book can have a whole lot of pages. You got to know which page to look on, which information you're looking for when you find it, how to interpret that information, and how to apply that information. Just because life is an open book test does not mean it's going to be easy. You got to know how to do all 5 of these things. I should do a whole class just on that alone. Point number 2, knowing the right people is more important than knowing the right stuff, simply because if you don't know something, you don't need to necessarily go learn it. You can go meet somebody who already knows it, and then you can borrow their brain. All right, so you might not know everything about playing basketball overseas. You don't need to. All you got to do is read the book of somebody who already wrote it. You don't have to learn everything. Just get the information from people who do know everything and the topics that are important to you, not on everything. Point number 3, school does not know what your world will be like in 5 to 10 years. I would have taken a major in internet and professional basketball if it existed when I was in college. Neither one of them existed, so I had to major in something that I don't even use to this day, even though I have a degree, simply because they didn't know what the future was going to look like. They definitely didn't know what my future was going to look like, even though I did, but I was boxed into the standardized system and I was stuck there. But I wanted to play the game because I wanted to play sports in college, so I played the game. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just telling you how it went. Point number 4. In the United States, the system is based on money. It is not based on making you your best. The rate of college tuition price, the cost of college is going up faster than the rate of inflation, which means college is demanding more of your money when you don't have more money, which makes no sense. They call that a bubble. Eventually that bubble will burst, just like the dot-com bubble burst, just like the housing bubble burst. The college bubble is going to burst, or the education bubble. We'll call it the college bubble because it's really colleges that are causing it. That bubble is going to burst. And a lot of people are going to go bankrupt. A lot of people are going to lose their homes. It's going to be ugly for a lot of people working at United States colleges and universities. Trust me. Point number 5, taking care of yourself. Proper rest, proper hygiene, nutrition, the mental game. These are things that require a little bit of nuance, and they require somebody to really specialize in them. So unless you take a class on these topics, nobody's actually going to teach you these the right way. So you need to get the proper, if you didn't get the proper home training from your mommy and your daddy, go find somebody who seems like they got their stuff together in these particular areas and ask them some questions. I guarantee you they will be more than willing to help you. Point number 6, how to express yourself and be yourself. School boxes you into a standardized system. It's called a standardized test because they want everyone to fit into a box. Problem is, people don't fit in the boxes. Most of us don't, unless we're dead, and they call that a casket. You don't want to be fitting in that. Being able to express yourself is what makes you unique and individual in this world. School does not promote or teach that, so you must learn how to do it on your own. The good thing is there are plenty of people online who will willingly teach this to you. And point number 7, life is long. If you're that guy or that girl right now, you may not be next year. If you're not that guy or that girl right now, you might be next year. Only 2 things guaranteed in life is you will die and things will change. So which means you need to stay light on your feet, stay on your toes, be ready to move, be ready to change, because things will change in life. You don't want to be in 2025 still living in 2015. Do not be in 2030 still living in 2020. Do not be the last person to know that things have changed in life and you're the only one still living in yesterday. Always be ready to move. Pay attention to what's going on. Stay awoke. Keep your head on the swivel. Know what's going on. Be ready to change as things change. Ideally, be ready to change before things change. All that being said, I'm going to tell you about these 2 publications I got here in front of me. Then if anybody has a question, go ahead and post it in the comment section right now on Facebook or on Instagram, and I will take those questions. We got like 20 minutes for me to address everything, so let's get right to it. These 2 books I got here in front of me, you can get both of these books for free. I've already paid for the book. The book's paid for. You see it sitting right here. All you got to do is take care of the shipping. I will send this book to you anywhere in the world, as long as you got an address. Let me tell you what they are, why you want them. This book right here, it's called The Overseas Basketball Blueprint. The subtitle is The Self-Guide to Self-Discipline. The reason why I wrote this book, it's for the person out there who wants to step out of the old you and you want to step into a brand new version of you. You want to step into a brand new you and take the same actions with a different energy, which is going to produce a completely different result. You heard me right. When you do the same action that you were doing before with a different energy, a different you will get a different result. All right, this is what this book is going to help you do. You become that new version, same actions, different results. If you want that, if that sounds like what you're looking for right now in your life, go to mirrorofmotivation.com. Just the title, take out the mirrorofmotivation.com. Tell me where to ship the book. We'll send this book to you worldwide. The book's already paid for. You take care of the shipping. Mirrorofmotivation.com. This book right here, it's called The Overseas Basketball Blueprint. I wrote this book specifically as the title says, a person who wants to play professional basketball overseas. Even if you came from a small school, you didn't play in school at all, you've been an overlooked player, you've been underrated, nobody's ever given you the proper respect, you never really gotten your chance, nobody's ever given you a shot, you feel like you got the talent to play pro ball, but nobody's ever really given you a real look. You need to get a look from somebody who can do something for you. Go to balloverseas.com. That's where you get this book. There's a 237-page book written by me. In case you didn't know, I barely played in high school. I walked on at an NCAA Division III school. Played there, didn't even get to play my proper position because we didn't have that many tall people, so I didn't even get to play guard in college. Didn't even have any prospects coming out of college. No agent, no teams looking for me, no job offers, and I made a 9-year career happen after all of that. And I wrote a book explaining to you how you could do the exact same thing. That's why I call it the blueprint, the overseas basketball blueprint. If you want the blueprint to build your career playing pro ball overseas, the book's already paid for. All you need to do is go to balloverseas.com. You take care of the shipping. I've already paid for the book. Balloverseas.com for anybody who wants to play professional basketball overseas. Now, I'm going to take any questions that we got here in the comments section. Let's see what we got. All right, we got about 15 minutes, so let's get through these. I hope y'all was taking notes on what I was saying today, and you got some good material that you will retain moving forward. Let's see what we got here. M Sims 1, what's good? Coffee the Great, what's going on? Tavis Dunks, what up? Andy from LA. Coffee says, what did professors do to make you not want to donate? What they did was I have written in, they did like a story on me, and then somebody from the alumni, who knows, because the alumni is tens of thousands of people. Somebody saw it and somebody hated, like, yeah, Dre used some bad language here or there. All the content I got on the internet, I'm sure I've said something to offend somebody. And that word got to somebody who knew somebody. And then it's like, well, we got to take the article down, Dre. So I said, all right, I ain't dealing with y'all no more. So who knows who it was? I don't know who it was. But when you send an email out to tens of thousands of people, somebody might get mad. So that's what happened. Money May said they did something. Yeah, I already answered that. So y'all both asked the same question. Coffee the Great said you just ordered Work on Your Game. Oh yeah, that's this book right here. So shout out to Coffee the Great. He just ordered this book. This is Work on Your Game. This is where I took my whole philosophy, put it into one book, 250 pages, where I explain to you the frameworks that I came about for this whole Work on Your Game philosophy. And through that, I intersped my story of what I went through and how I came about this philosophy. So I tell you, if you want to know my story, it is covered in this book, but at the same time, I'm giving you the framework of my philosophy. So this is not a memoir. This is me giving you how you can work on your game through telling my story, if that makes sense. Imana Roy was good. Coffee the Great says, there anything I enjoyed in college? Hell yeah. Playing basketball, socializing. Those are the two things I majored in. I used to have it on my Facebook profile, what I majored in college. It's socializing and basketball. Those are two things that I did. Two most valuable things I got out of college was socializing. That means meeting people, partying, talking to girls and all that, and playing basketball. Those are two things that I most got out of college. Best part about it. And I would do it all over again. Amanda said, were you ever bullied in school? I never fought back and I didn't snitch, so nothing happened to my bullies. No, I never got bullied in school, but of course, there are going to be people who mess around and do stuff. But the kind of stuff that I see on the news and social media, like kids is like committing suicide and having to go to therapy because they're being bullied, that's like ridiculous type of bullying. But where I come from, I come from the city of Philadelphia. That kind of stuff doesn't really, at least not that I know of, doesn't really happen that way. Because if you mess with somebody enough that way, then something's going to happen to you. That's just the way that's the way it was, at least when I was growing up. I don't know how it is now, and I don't have kids, so I don't know. But the way it was when I was growing up, anybody got messed with for long enough, somebody was getting knocked upside their head. We wasn't going to no therapist. I'm not to make light of that, but that's the way it was. I'm just explaining to you. So bullying is a big issue in the USA. Well, it's always existed. It's just now people got different ways of talking about it. Back then, people wasn't talking about it the same way. Coffee said it's called roasting. Yeah, well, we had different ways of calling it and stuff like that, but yeah, wasn't nobody crying to their mom. People was getting hurt. EOG Hanno Daly says, better version of my question a few weeks ago. So somebody who is Irish play basketball in France and get paid to play? Of course. There are Europeans playing professional basketball in Europe every year. And I'm talking different countries. So there's people from Serbia who play in Spain, and people from Spain who play in France, and people from France who play in Australia. So yes, You can come from a different country and play pro ball in some other country and get paid. Same way an American can go to Europe and get paid, you can come from Ireland and get paid in, fill in the blank, whatever country you want to play, of course. And this book, the principles shared in this book will apply to you just as they do to an American. So if you don't have this book yet, EOG, balloverseas.com, we got you. We just ordered, like I told y'all last week, we ordered 250 books last week so we can ship them out and get them out to people as seamlessly as possible. So if there's one more question I'll take. The question is, you pay off your college debt or your parents assisted you? I didn't really have college debt. Mine was taken care of I had like academics and like grants and stuff like that. So mirrormotivation.com, self-guide to self-discipline. This is for anyone who wants to play professional. No, this is not professional basketball. You want to be a professional in life. Step out of the old you and step into the new you so you can take the same actions and get different results. Mirrorofmotivation.com. This book right here, Overseas Basketball Blueprint. This is for the person who wants to play professional basketball worldwide, get paid to play ball, get paid for your talent, get recognized for the skills that you've been had, but you just haven't been gotten the look that you want to be getting. You want to travel the world, get paid, your housing's paid for, your food, your travel's paid for. All you got to do is play ball, and you get paid for that. Balloverseas.com if you want to play overseas. If you got both of these books, or you need something else to read because you're still in lockdown, quarantine, or you just started reading books and now you want to read another book, get this one right here. It's called Work on Your Game. Use the pro athlete mindset to dominate your game in business, sports, and life. This book is me sharing you the entire framework, how I came about it from when I first started playing ball. I tell you about through my high school experience, my college experience, my professional experience as a professional athlete, but then as an entrepreneur as well. And while I'm telling you that story, through the story, I'm explaining to you my framework. So I'm explaining to you how the framework happened through telling you my story. I know about this because of this happened. I know about this because I went through that. That's what I'm explaining to you in this book, Work on Your Game. So you know about me, and you're going to get the framework at the same time. Hardcover book. You get this at workonyourgamebook.com. Imana says, what if the bully is way bigger than you? Then you can go get somebody who can help you out, or call the cops, or work on your communication skills and make friends with the bully. But I'm not really, I'm not an expert in that subject, so I can't really tell you exactly, specifically what to do. But that's what I would say do. Make friends with them, or go find somebody who can beat them up for you, or somebody who can intimidate them or set them straight for you, or avoid them, or go talk to some authority, somebody who could do something to get involved and get in the middle of the situation. That's just the way it is. All right, so everybody, I'm doing these lives every single day, 5:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day. Unless otherwise noted, if I change the time, I'll tell you in my story. So just turn on your notifications and all that. Everybody, have a great day. Work on your game. I will see you in here live tomorrow, same time, same place. Work on your game. Be out here. Dre all day.